Good morning, respected chief guests, principal, teachers, parents, and my dear friends. To begin with, I would like to wish each and every one of you a happy Independence Day. This is very important for all of us because on this day in 1947 we were freed from the British rule. What is special about this year's Independence Day is that it is the 75th and the whole nation is celebrating it as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As we all know, this freedom of India is the result of 200 years of struggle of our ancestors. As Indians living and flourishing in an independent new India, we have made a video paying tribute to all our freedom fighters.
India, a land of ancient civilization, rich by colors, people, and spices. The history of India begins with the Indus Valley civilization and the coming of the Aryans. These two phases are generally described as pre-Vedic and Vedic period. The 5th century saw a unification of India under Ashoka, who had converted to Buddhism, and it was because of him that Buddhism spread to many parts of Asia. In the 11th century, had firmly established itself India to the political force. It resulted in the formation of Delhi Sultanate, which was succeeded by Mughal Empire later. India at this time was ruled by very powerful kings. Large empires spread all over India. It was in the 17th century a voyage came to the seashore of Calicut, now in Kerala. It was led by Vasco da Gama in 1498. He took a permission from the trade for the Samatari Raja. Europeans were followed by Portuguese, Dutch, British. But British not only came to trade but capture India. They established East India Company and started capturing the parts of India.
Britishers came to India for trading like spices, cereals, and pulses. Men like Robert Clive of the British East India Company combined military power with the restless ambition of being the fabulously wealthy person. With the wealth came power, and trade took control over India. Slowly but surely, the East India Company started to transform a trading company to a ruling one. The power of the East India Company kept growing till 1856, when it was dissolved after the revolt of 1857 and the British crown took direct control over India. And they started taking the rule and control over the Indian subcontinents. The revolt of 1857 was the conscious beginning of the independence struggle against the colony of the British. There are various names for this revolt of 1857, like India's first war of independence and Sepoy Mutiny. Freedom fighters have struggled in their life for the independence, like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and lot more.
One of the most important leaders was Gandhiji, who launched many movements against the colonial rule. Mahatma Gandhi successfully organized Satyagraha movements in various parts of India. Emboldened with this success, Gandhiji in 1919 decided to launch a nationwide Satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. This act had been hurriedly passed through the Imperial Legislative Council despite fierce opposition of Indian members. This act gave the government enormous power to repress political activity and detain anyone without trial for 2 years, provoking Indians, which led to a start of Hartal on 6th April. Rallies were organized in various cities, workers went on strike in railway workshop, and shops were closed. Due to this, British administration decided to clamp down the movement. Local leaders were picked up from Amritsar. On 10th April, the police in Amritsar fired upon a peaceful procession, provoking widespread attack. Martial law was imposed and General Dyer took command. The British brought in Brigadier General Reginald Dyer. He imposed martial law and deployed airplanes across the city. On 13th April, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. Some came to protest against the government's new repressive measures. On 13th April, the infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. As the news of Jallianwala Bagh spread, crowds took to the streets in many North Indian towns. There were strikes, clashes with the police, and attacks on government buildings. After this incident, many Indians were furiated. Mahatma Gandhi, with the help of Indian National Congress, started many movements such as Non-Cooperation Movement in 1920 to 1922, Civil Disobedience Movement in 1930, Salt March, etc. Due to this proud struggle, British were set aback. In last, the important movement held by Gandhiji was Quit India movement on 8th August 1942. This series of struggle, pain, sacrifice came to an end on 15th August 1947. Our India on this day attained Purna Swaraj, making our country independent.
On this special occasion of Independence Day, I would like to talk about actually what happened on August 15, 1947. On August 15, the roads were full of the people celebrating and the tricolour fluttered proudly. On this day, Jawaharlal Nehru also became the first Prime Minister of India. On this occasion, Jawaharlal Nehru asked the members of the Constituent Assembly to take a pledge of loyalty to the new state. The Free India's nation flag was hoisted atop the Council House. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru made his first speech in Indian Parliament. In his first Parliament speech, Jawaharlal Nehru said, "We end today a period of ill fortune and India discovers herself again." Swaraj in ceremony was held at the Visarjal Lodge. The Indian flag was hoisted for the first time on the central dome at 10:30 am. It is said that when the first public flag salutation ceremony was being held, from nowhere a rainbow resembling the colors of flag appeared on the horizon. People in all the states came out in the streets to celebrate the freedom from the clutches.
Indians should be proud for the humongous sacrifice and struggle. Once again, one and all, a happy Independence Day. This video was brought to you by 10th B students.